In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Hero, or as the rest of the internet seems to be calling it, the Hero 2014. This is the $130 camera which GoPro released with their other brand new Hero 4 cameras. This is the low-end entry-level camera, and really today what we're going to find out is what kind of quality it can deliver for that $130 price tag, because if this thing is awesome as $130, it's going to be absolutely game-changing. So we'll quickly blow through what it comes with in the box. You get the camera, the skeleton back door for the housing. It comes with a waterproof door mounted onto the back of the camera, a curved adhesive mount, and a flat adhesive mount, as well as a USB charging cable and one buckle mount pre-attached to the camera. What you do not get with this kit is any extender arms, so you don't get a through-way pivot arm, and you don't get a J buckle mount. So just keep in mind that those are not coming with this kit, but again, I think they've tried to cut corners and cut costs anywhere they have here, and they have definitely tried to pass those savings on. In terms of specifications, the camera can shoot 1080p 30 or 720p 60 in either standard 16:9 aspect ratio or super view, which is when it shoots a 4:3 image and then dynamically scales the edges of it out. It can shoot 5 megapixel photos, and it can shoot time lapses at half-second intervals. It can shoot 5 megapixel photos in bursts of up to 10 photos in 2 seconds, so 5 photos per second. In terms of battery life, it shoots for about 2 hours 40 minutes on at 1080p 30 and a little bit less 720p 60, and then it can also take a maximum size SD card of 32 gigabytes. With all that boring technical stuff out of the way, let's look at image and sound quality. I used a very difficult lighting scenario to compare these two cameras. My reasoning was that any camera can make good lighting conditions easy, so we've got a little bit of a low light situation with a little bit of cloud, the sun's about to set, and we're down on the beach, we've got the water's coming in, and basically I'm comparing the Hero to the 2014 Hero 4 Silver. So keep in mind that the Hero 4 Silver is about 3 times more expensive than the Hero. The Hero's $130. The Hero 4 Silver right now is $400. So you could buy 3 of these Hero cameras for the price of that Hero 4 Silver. That being said, we do start to see an image quality breakdown. So at 1080p 30, both cameras 1080p 30, there's not a huge difference in the images, but it does become very apparent how noisy the Hero is, especially when we step it up to 720p 60. Going back now to 1080p 30, we can see that there is a fair bit more noise in that in the Hero image, and also, while it is more contrasty, it doesn't seem to be good contrasty. So I think the Hero has a little bit less dynamic range in the images, and then also a fair bit more noise. And then especially when we step it up to 720p 60, you can see that there's way more noise in that Hero image. Now I think that's probably just a side effect of the processor trying to handle that speed of frame rate. If you think about that, that's the max frame rate of this camera compared to a Hero 4 Silver, which can shoot up to, well, it can shoot 1080p 60 or it can shoot 720p 120. So it's not really starting to push its boundaries in terms of what it can really do, whereas this Hero is. In terms of photos, we got some photos at the same location, and again, you can notice that there's a little bit more noise in all of the images. The Hero 4 images are a lot more crisp and a lot more clear, whereas the Hero images are a little bit more grainy and a little bit more noisy. One of the really cool thing about this camera that I wanted to show you guys, so it's got a skeleton back door. So we open up the case like this and we can pull the back door off. But what's really cool is the skeleton back door here has a cutout in the back of it for the USB charging port. So when we put this on, you can see that the USB port on the back of the camera sticks out, and if we get our USB cable out here, we're actually able to plug it directly in to the back of the camera just like that. Very, very cool. You cannot do this with a standard GoPro. To do that, you'd have to either take it out of the case, mount it to the case, or buy a frame or a skeleton housing for the camera. So being able to do this straight out of the box is absolutely awesome, and would mean that taking long time lapses with this camera is something that would be very, very possible. A couple other things which are missing on the Hero: there's no night lapse or night photo mode. Both of those features are missing. Those are only available on the Hero 4s. There's no Wi-Fi, which is kind of too bad because I've kind of become used to just using the app to set up all my cameras. There's also no backpack expansion, so something like the battery backpack doesn't work on the back of this, or a LCD screen. None of that worked with this camera. As you can see, the back of it is very plain. It's also not removable from the case, so it is built into the case. I have a teardown video coming up which will show how you can remove this thing from the case, but it's basically modularly built into the case, so the camera's actually screwed into the front and then it's kind of built up from the back using the case as the final housing for the camera, so it isn't just glued in or anything. And then it is waterproof, just like the standard GoPro cases. It is waterproof. And the menu system, if you guys have seen the new Hero 4 menu system, the menu on this doesn't look like that. The menu on this looks much more like the older GoPro Hero 3 menu system. There will be a whole bunch of videos on my channel showing how to use the menu system of this camera, but it's much similar to that of like a Hero 3 than a Hero 4 with the setting and tag button on the side. So it's conclusion time, and I'm kind of struggling with this one. The price of the camera means that it's about 3 times cheaper than that of the next camera which has been released. So a Hero 4 Silver would run you 3 times what one of these cameras would. And it's probably the right price point for this. With the image quality, well, it does look great. It definitely is not on par with that of a Hero 4 Silver or Hero 4 Black. So you do lose out there, but the price is really hard to beat. And for $130, I think this camera is a great entry-level point for anyone who's not yet sure if a GoPro is something they're going to use and something that they're going to like just even, there's even any point them having. So if you want to figure out if you want a GoPro and you should use something you're going to use, for $130 you can get into the ecosystem with one of these and you can figure it out. The other thing that's really great about this camera is that any accessories you buy for it, say you buy a chest mount or a suction cup mount or anything like that, it's compatible with all of the GoPro cameras which exist. So maybe you pick up one of these for $130 and then you pick up a chest mount and a suction cup mount, which alone are going to run you close to $100. You get that, and then maybe one day you decide that you want to upgrade to a Hero 4 because you want better image quality. Well, all of those accessories that you've bought are going to continue to work. The other place I see this being great is for people who have one GoPro and are looking for a second angle. Well, it may not be the same image quality that you're used to with your standard GoPro. If you just want a quick cut to a second angle for $130, it's kind of hard to go wrong. Although, if you were to do that, I think I'd be looking to pick up a used Hero 3 instead of the Hero, because then it's removable from the case and it'll work with your standard cases and stuff like that. So while that is an option for this camera, I think looking at used older Hero 3s is probably a better bet, and you could probably get one for a price point maybe only slightly higher than this. I don't have too many thoughts on it not being removable from the case. I think it's an interesting move. It steps away from what GoPro's normally done, but especially when you guys watch my teardown, what you're going to see is that this camera is built cheap, and that building it into the case was definitely cost saving for them. So all in all, guys, that was my review of the Hero. It's an awesome little cheap camera, and it does exactly what it set out to do. It set out to be an entry-level GoPro camera which provided GoPro quality images, and well, they definitely are not GoPro quality images on par with the high-end cameras today. They do look a lot like GoPro images, and they work with all the GoPro mounts. So if you're looking for a springboard into the ecosystem and you want all of the mounts you get with this camera to work with everything going forward with all the GoPro stuff, this seems to be a pretty solid little camera. Until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching. This was another GoPro tips and tricks video. If you guys have enjoyed it, please make sure you subscribe, check out my channel for lots more videos, and like the video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I read all of those comments and I respond to as many of them as I can. Until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching.